Alright, hey guys, real quick before we get started with today's video, consider going and signing the RPM Act. Link is below in the description. Basically, if you aren't following, the EPA is going after all of your favorite parts manufacturers and tuners and shops that help you guys modify your cars. Basically, they don't want us modifying our cars, whether or not they're street legal or not. So this version of the RPM Act explicitly states that we want these parts for competition use only. So not for street going cars, only for cars that go to the track. So if you're a motorsport guy or you like working on cars, please consider going and signing it. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Sack's Garage. I am Sack and this is my garage. Today we are talking about changing plans on the truck. It's still going to go turbo, so for everybody that may have been disappointed with that or thought that's where this was going, that is not where this video is going. So let's talk about changes from the last video. Last video, we were prepping the truck to go to a shop to get the cage put in. That was all done. The truck was taken to the shop. However, when they saw it, they were like, hold on a second. This truck is not ready for a cage. It needs all of its suspension and everything in it. So that the cage doesn't get undue stresses on it once you start changing up the suspension and the frame. So basically what they wanted to do was they wanted to put it on a jig. They wanted to make sure everything was straight, put the cage in, do all that. They said it would cost 10 to 15 grand. I was like, no, that's more than this truck is worth even after everything's done. So what we are going to do is we are going to do the rear suspension, which we weren't planning on doing for a while. The front suspension, which I said I was going to have them do, but they said, no, this thing needs to be jigged. So we are going to do it ourselves. And then once all of that is done, we're going to put the drivetrain back in as it is, NA, and then get it to the shop to get the cage put in. So what we're looking at is it's going to take a little bit to get the truck up and back to where it needs to be in order to get it to the shop to get the cage put in. But what we're looking at right now is in the bed of the truck. You guys can't really see it. It's under the cover there. Is all the front suspension parts that we had. The cage is currently underneath the truck in a bunch of pieces. But we have on order right now a 4-link suspension for the back. We went with the Comp Engineering kind of do-it-yourself weld-in kit. It was about 400 bucks, which isn't terrible. And I went with that kit because one, it is the most customizable. You can weld it in anywhere. It has the most adjustments on the brackets once it is in. And then we'll get some Viking shocks from Auto Mafia Racing, who is the sponsor of this truck, and get it going from there. Once we get the truck down to about the ride height that we want in the rear, that'll help us set up the front. My concern with the front was if we did the front first, we wouldn't really know how high to set that suspension with the Mustang 2 stuff. Because basically with cutting it off at the front firewall, we really have unlimited options with how we bend that frame down and make that whole front clip again. So we're going to start with the rear. We're going to bring the truck down at least a couple inches. Probably have to flare out the fenders or do a little bit of cutting. We'll have to see with the tires. But the goal for today is to clean up the garage because the garage is an absolute mess from a bunch of other little things I've been doing at the house. Get the bed off the back of the truck so that we have all the space to work. And then start getting everything unbolted because the suspension should be here by the end of the week. Sorry, got something in my throat. Anyway, so we're gonna start cleaning up the garage once we start working on the truck. We will go ahead and get back up on the video, but for now, hang tight. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, welcome back. Same video, different day. I actually got carried away with cleaning up the garage last time. It took me all day. Got the side shelves over there all organized a lot better, so I have a lot more free space over here to work, especially with us taking the bed off. It'll end up just coming over here and occupying this space. But today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the rear suspension. So for starters, we're gonna put the drive shaft back in and just kind of lower this body down here to see, with the bed on, how far we want to bring that down, and really determine if we need to C-notch the frame or not. I suspect we'll have to at least partially do it, but for the time being, we're gonna see what this gives us. And right here is all of our suspension stuff, the big box. That's for the front. I just didn't have any space for it elsewhere. But we've got our Competition Engineering 4-link kit right here. All the links to these parts will be in the description below. Right here, got the diagonal link for it. Got a Rhodes race car coilover mounting kit. One thing to note here is the plastic that they used to seal this is really crummy, and it actually all fell apart in the box. So luckily the box was sealed up and nothing was missing. I got some Prothane body mounts here. That was recommended for once the cage does get installed. And then this bag of hardware. This is a massive Heim joint. You can see, like, I can stick my pointer finger almost all the way through. I don't want to get my knuckle stuck, but these things are serious. Definitely going to be able to take a lot of force there, which is exactly what we're looking for. So it is really hot. It's about 100 degrees with the humidity index today in North Carolina. So I won't be doing a whole lot of talking. It'll mostly be time-lapse and silent video because I'm going to have the shop fan going. All right, guys, got everything disconnected. The leafs are out. That was kind of a pain. Had to jack up the truck pretty high to get it out, but everything underneath, I just need to take off the top bolts of the shocks, but the axle is free now. You can see there that the drive shaft is actually what's holding up the front of the pumpkin there. So I'm gonna get you guys set up here at an angle, and we're gonna slowly lower this down to see where we want to put it. All right, our current gap from the, falling over, from the top of the wheel here, or the top of the tire, to the bottom part of the fender there is about 4 inches. So we're going to slowly lower this down and see what we like. All right, as the truck is going down, it's moving away from me because of the way that the jack is moving, so we're going to slowly bring it down and bring the body back towards us. I mean, I think that looks pretty good. We're now at, oh gosh, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And then let's get a level here. Something. Let's see. This is kind of tough since the wall of the tire is not flat, but it's about eyeballing it. About a 1/2 inch off the edge of the fender. Go around to the other side here. Again, about a 1/2 inch off the fender. I think that looks pretty good, guys. What do you think? I think the 1 to 3/4 looks pretty good. That'll let us drop the front of the truck a little bit. And I think that will really help the stance out. I know it's hard to get a full look at what it really looks like, but I'll find the picture of it and post it here just so you guys can see how the truck used to sit. It sat with the back end up super high, but hopefully you can tell now that it's actually sitting pretty level the way it is. I may still drop the front down just a little bit. Let's actually take a measurement here. Let's put it down. Where does my tape measure go? We look here. That's about 18 inches off the ground at the back. And that's like 18 and a half to 19, so we can drop the front a little bit. I may even drop the rear a little bit more to try to get rid of that front gap in the fender well. If you guys can see, that's a pretty decent gap here. We're looking at 4.5 inches of gap there. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously this is not set in stone today. This is just, the preliminary hack at it. But gosh, let's go ahead and lower this back end down. That's what we're gonna do, just to take a look. All right, keep coming down. Bring the truck back to us. Bring it down a little bit more. Ooh. I think if we roll this fender a little bit, I think that could work really well. Because that is about, man, that changes the look of the truck dramatically. That looks awesome. Let's take a look. Like I said earlier, we got to consider if we have to C-notch the frame or not. And I'm looking at it, and gosh, there's still 3. I've got a whole 5 fingers worth of distance between the top of the axle tube and the bottom of the bump stop. And that bump stop is a good, like, 3 inches, so maybe 2. Gosh, guys, I think that's gonna work right there the way it is. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this stance right here. I really like it. And I think that if we keep the back of the truck like that, and then bring the nose down a couple inches to try to decrease that gap, I think that will look really, really good. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, got the bed off. We're just gonna have it over here next to the truck for now, just leaning up against the cab. Shouldn't be a problem for us. We got the frame on jack stands. It's nice and level. Looking good. We gotta take off these shocks, gotta undo the brake lines, gotta grind off all the old mounting hardware, and then we also need to pull the wiring harness off of the frame rail so we have a clean place to work and we don't burn anything. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Got the wiring harness all off. This connection to the brake line gave me some headache. It actually was rusted in there, so I ended up rounding the head of it. Had to use that other wrench to get it off, and some PB Blaster. And then the shocks are now removed. Those were actually pretty easy to get off. No issues there. But this is how the truck sits. We're not going to get to any of the axle or frame prep work today, but you can look forward to that on the next episode of Zach's Garage.